Entrepreneur's Enigma is a podcast for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, so the wins and the fails that we all face being entrepreneurs, and how we learn from adversity. Every week I talk to a different entrepreneur with a story to tell. I'm Seth Goldstein. Come with me on the journey. This is Entrepreneur's Enigma. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneur's Enigma podcast. You're sick of me by now. I'm your host, Seth. Today we have Luke Lintz. It's alliteration. It's a fun name to say. He is the CEO and one of the co-founders of the HighKey Agency, which is based in Puerto Rico. But you'll hear when he talks, he sounds like he's Canadian, not Puerto Rican. It's because he is Canadian. He's from Manitoba. You might ask where that is. Pretty much Midwest Canada. Where there's a whole lot of nothing, but he comes from Winnipeg, so that's like a little bit of bastion of something in the middle of nowhere. Am I right?
Very true. Very true.
Very true. I mean, well, Canada is one of those weird things that all the populations are along the borders. Just like Australia, everyone's around the coast because it's too hot in the center. Everyone's along the bottom and around because it's too cold in the center for Canada. We were saying before the show that was like 40 below, which is 40 below Fahrenheit and Celsius. They match at that point. And you said it's like you can't go out because you'll frostbite instantaneously. Sounds like fun. So guess what they do during these 4 months of cold winters? They start businesses. At least this one did. At least Luke did. So when he was 16, so around 11th grade up in Canada, he and his brother, if I remember this correctly, started the true wireless earbud craze in North America. And they succeeded. They did a good job, and then they failed. Crashed and burned, but it's all part of the battle. That's the part of entrepreneurship. And then they got up, they dusted themselves off, they learned what they did wrong, and they figured it out. And then they decided they were going to start up the HighKey Agency, which is a public relations agency. Now it's based in Puerto Rico, where it's a little bit warmer than Manitoba. A little bit. Now it's only the opposite side. Now it never gets cold. It's just hot. And so they help grow digital brands for top-level business owners. He's worked with people as far-flung as Forbes, Wall Street Journal, New York Times. He's worked with, I can't speak today, A-list celebrities such as Kevin Hart, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, of course the Kardashians. I mean, if you're going to go A-list, they're famous for being famous, but you have to get at least one Kardashian in your portfolio. If that's when you know you've made it, right? And a bunch of other famous actors and A-list rappers and whatnot. They have the funniest logo. It's a key, but if you look it up, just look it up, you'll see what I'm talking about. Was that planned? The logo? I forgot if you said, was it planned to look like what it looks like, or is it oh crap?
Very planned.
It was planned. All right. If you're watching the video, you saw what it looked like. It's a little phallic, but it's kind of funny. It's a conversation piece, conversation starter. And so this is great to have you on, Luke. How's the weather down in Puerto Rico today, buddy?
It's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Internet's not that good, but the internet's not that good down in Puerto Rico, but everything else is great. So, how did this all get started? How did you decide to go in entrepreneurship? I mean, nothing to do up in Manitoba?
Yeah, well, that's definitely one piece, is that there's nothing to do for 6 months out of the year with it being winter. But I think what really got me into entrepreneurship is reflecting back on it. I think I always had like entrepreneurial blood. Like if you really reflect back on it, like some people just do things as like side hustles to make money. I realized that when I was in the second grade, I basically took my little brother's Pokemon cards and was reselling them to my friends to basically make a multiple on it. And I was like, oh, I didn't think of that as entrepreneurial at the time. Obviously, I was in grade 2. But I was making money.
You were being a troll more than being entrepreneurial.
Yeah, literally. And then in grade 9, I had a ton of free time. And what I was doing is I went on Kijiji, which is like our local forum. It's kind of like Craigslist in the US. And I would buy TVs, bikes, and I would fix them up and then resell them back on.
Oh, yeah. So you've been an entrepreneur since day one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I never thought of it back then like that. I kind of just thought of it as using up my free time that I had to make some extra cash on the side.
I mean, if you think of the alternative, you could have gotten the drugs and all that crap. So, clearly, this is risky in a different kind of way, but risky in a way you can come back and learn. I mean, that's what we talked about a little bit at the beginning about how, you did the first truly wireless Bluetooth earbuds, went fabulously well until it didn't. And look, you dust yourself off. I'm working with a bunch of entrepreneurs now, and they're like, "Oh, we're scared." I'm like, "Don't be scared. Just do it. You fail, you pick yourself up. Worst that happens, you get a job. I mean, worst that happens.
Yeah, but that's the thing as an entrepreneur. Like you
You
said,
don't want to get
you
that
said
job.
you talk with entrepreneurs about who are scared. Like you can't be a scared
You can't be
entrepreneur.
scared.
Like
No.
everything about entrepreneurship, like you going into entrepreneurship is saying that like I accept the unknowns. I accept
Yeah.
taking on an unbelievable amount of risk that the average person can't ever digest or comprehend. And you're
Yeah.
accepting that risk for potential extremely large payoffs in the future that people aren't willing to accept that, and then therefore aren't able to receive those incremental payoffs in the future.
Exactly. But so those payoffs that have paid off, for lack of a better word there. Word choice is not my best today. But so you went from the kind of the crash and burns, and you rebuilt yourself up from the ashes like a phoenix, that kind of phoenix rising kind of thing. And you still work with your brother, right? Because that was your brother. It was Jordan you were working with, right?
Yeah, so I started the first business, Wireless Earbuds, with my older brother. We scaled
Yeah.
that up to 7 figures in revenue. Then
Holy crap!
yeah, well, I was,
At 16, yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
well, I was 18 by the
All
time we
right,
scaled
all
it
right.
up.
A little less impressive now. A little less
Yeah,
impressive. We're gonna take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show.
I was still in high school. And
Yeah.
then we diverted our attention and focus into a different product. It was a charging backpack.
Oh,
So that's where we lost out because we invested,
that's you took a risk. You took a risk,
took a risk.
and oh crap,
Took
the
it,
risk didn't pay off.
but see, like that's the thing of entrepreneurship is
Yeah.
that you can take calculated risks.
Yeah.
And so you're still taking on risks, but it's very calculated. That was a risk that we took on that wasn't calculated. We didn't test the product.
You're 18.
Yeah.
Come on now. I mean, but still, you learn from it, right? You learn. Well, next time we got to do calculated risks. We got to, not risk the whole farm here. Not the whole bank, but pick and choose what risks you want, which has more upside than downside.
For sure, for sure. Because like how I always thought of it is similar to what you said in terms of like what's worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Like you get a job. How I thought of it is worst case scenario, absolute worst case I would go bankrupt and have to go move back into my dad. So what that looks like is as long as I learned more in the process of actually running a business and starting up a business than I would have like say going to university, then I succeeded in my mind. And so there was only upside from there, and then the money was kind of just a bonus if it did come. The main
it
thing
did.
the main thing that I learned though is that you can learn some very valuable skill sets and very valuable lessons inside a business without having to risk the whole farm. Like we didn't have to put it all on the line with this new product to learn the lesson that you should test products in the marketplace before buying a ton of inventory.
But keep in mind, you're 18.
Yeah.
Your frontal lobe is not fully developed. Aren't you like 23 still?
I'm 24.
Yeah, you have one more year before your medulla fully forms. So you're still crazy. But that's the idea. But that's what you got to think about it, is that like you take calculated risks. Sometimes you take stupid risks, and you learn from them. And that's kind of the idea. So you're now doing PR and outreach and social media outreach and building and all that for the high A-list celebrities and whatnot. How did you fall into that from backpacks and earbuds?
Well, when we were running the wireless earbuds business, we were connecting with a lot of influencers. We grew that business to 7 figures completely through influencer marketing. So we would reach out to people over the Instagram DMs to basically provide them free products or sometimes paid promotion. And then they would promote it, create content around it, and then we would repost that content. So we had all of these connections of influencers. And then what we did is we reflected back when we failed on the business and was like, okay, what are we good at? We realized we're good at growing a brand and growing an Instagram page. So we're like, we could provide
and being friendly and outgoing like most Canadians are.
Yeah. And so you're like, what could we do with those skill sets? And so we started up a service-based business of growing people's Instagram pages. And then
you did it for yourself. I mean, anyone who asks how you prove that works, you're like, look at my shit.
Exactly.
Literally, like, look what we did.
And there's no better testimonial than that.
Exactly. Like, I did it, you can do it. That kind of thing.
This
brilliant.
is actually, a key takeaway. If anybody's watching it or listening and is doing a service-based business, the absolute best thing that you can do right at the beginning is building up an undeniable case study. Really, all you need is one undeniable case study. So if you do work for free for somebody or you do work for yourself of the services that you want to do for others and just built up that case study where it's like just so undeniable, you can showcase it on every single sales call. It makes closing deals so easy.
It's so much fun too, because like people ask me like, "How good are you at SEO?" I'm like, "Well, look at my site, Goldstein Media, and it ranks despite itself. Like it ranks for things I don't even know it ranks for." And the people say, how'd you find me?" And they tell me the keywords that they typed in. I'm like, "What? Okay, great." And I go put them in the tracker. But it's like that's how you know if you do it right by yourself and you do it right and you do it right for a few more people, it builds up, and then you get the next person on and next person on. It builds up like a pyramid. It's great.
So true.
And so you started then pivoted from the product based to the service based, saying, "Hey, we can do this for you guys." How did you land someone like Kevin Hart? I mean, he's a Philadelphian, so he's a nice guy. I mean, come on now, but
Well, so within the service-based business of doing
Yeah.
social media marketing for people, people wanted to start collaborating with influencers, our clients, and then also wanted to start growing their following. And so what we did is we created like a giveaway network where basically we would partner up with celebrities like Kevin Hart, Nicki Minaj, Kardashians. We partnered up with like close to 100 of them. And what they basically do is we give away something massive on their social media platform. And then they shout out all of our clients, which are giveaway sponsors. So they say,
oh, you're the guys behind that crap.
Yeah.
Okay. I call it crap in the most respectful way possible, but like, hey, do this, and this, and we'll get this, and like,
for sure.
as long as they honestly, the FTC is fine with it as long as we market it as ad.
Exactly. Yeah, we follow.
Oh, can't learn that the hard way.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, we follow all the guidelines. The thing the reason like it has a bad stigma is because there are so many like scams in the industry and so many people who are horrible in terms of like not promoting a giveaway and not actually giving away the product. But it's
that's icky.
For sure. Yeah. For us, we've given away like I think 10 Teslas now, over like $1 million in prizes just on Instagram to random people over the past 5 years.
And does it have a giant key / Falcon symbol on the side of it?
Always.
Kind of cool, like gold encrusted, Have your logo on the side of the Tesla. That's pretty cool. But I mean, it's when we first talked. I mean, I love the energy you bring to it. I love that it's like kind of you're having fun doing what you love to do. And it's kind of half the battle. It's like if you don't love what you're doing, you're in the wrong industry. Whether it be in business for yourself or working for someone else. If you don't like it, get the hell out there and find something you like. It's easier said than done, but yeah.
I was talking about this with a friend of mine because they have an opportunity to start up a business which hits every single point of what you'd want when you start up a business. They have experience in it, a track record inside of the business. They have a huge passion for it. It's aligned with the future that they want to get to in 10 plus years. So they're able to set some long-term goals in it, and they're extremely educated in the space. And so
it's brilliant. Yeah.
It's amazing. Like when you can get like all of the variables that you want to start a business, it's very difficult because most times when you're starting up a business, you either like fall into it or you kind of have to force start it. And I think people spend too much time at the beginning stages of thinking through the idea and getting into this just idea hamster wheel of indecisiveness of what to start up. When in reality, you learn so much by just starting something up and
just get started.
Going through the process.
Get started and, succeed or fail fast and try again. That kind of thing.
Succeed or fail fast. That's a great quote.
It is. You feel free to use it all you want. But it's true. It's literally you either succeed or you're getting to success or you're going to fail. And then it's just like your wounds, get back into the game. It's that simple.
Yep.
So, Luke, you've been I can actually say this about a 24-year-old here. This is so weird. But like you've been an entrepreneur for a while now, since the age of 2. And what's the best thing about being an entrepreneur? I mean, have you ever had a day job?
I have had a day job. I've had several day jobs in high school. I was a babysitter. I worked demolition work during a summer in high school. I did painting during one summer. And then I also worked at an organic food store.
Oh, so look, full gambit. 24 has already lived a long life already.
Yeah.
But so what's the best thing about being an entrepreneur in your mind then?
The best thing about being an entrepreneur is I think two things. One is obviously like the freedom component of where you can craft your own schedule, but then like that freedom thing is kind of just the same because every single entrepreneur that I know works way harder than any single 9-to-5 worker.
You earn the right to work 80 hours a week.
That's another great line.
I'm dropping bombs everywhere now, but it's true. You earn. I can't own that one.
Yeah,
it's something else. You earn the right to work an 80-hour work week.
I think the most valuable thing for me, and the thing that has given me the most amount of purpose of being an entrepreneur, is like I can set my own vision. Like there's no limits of what I can set as a vision, and I can lead other people along with us towards that vision. And so I'm somebody who does not want to have limits in my life in any area of my life. And I constantly am trying to like stretch goals and think like 25, 50 years into the future. And I think I could only do that if I was running my own thing.
Yes, I totally agree with you on that. And so what keeps you up at night?
Nothing really keeps
besides the hurricanes and the macaws. Hacking your window.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've been like kind of grateful for is I've never really had problems sleeping. Like I can get to sleep pretty good. But in terms of like the quote, like
what keeps you up at night, worrisome side of things.
Yeah, what are the worries that I have? Pretty much just really any entrepreneurial worries. Like it's weird that when you get to a point of like I've gone to a point of a decent amount of success, like success where like the average person could probably retire on it. But I still stress about, money problems of forecasting.
Because it can be gone in an instant too.
Yeah. Like when payroll gets in, like our payroll is like in the 6 figures monthly, and so it's like having that level of responsibility at such a young age can be pretty daunting. Where I look at like our P&L statements and we have to make like 6 figures in revenue to just break even on a monthly basis, and that can be difficult to digest sometimes.
Yeah, definitely take some Malox or some Pepto-Bismol. Keep it in your cover going. Chug it like you would with a beer, instead you're chucking Pepto-Bismol at 24. Yeah, that's a little worrisome there, right there.
I think another hard thing is at 24. Like I've had mentors a lot of my life, which is most of the time our clients are turned into my mentors because a lot of the clients that work with us are higher level than we are. So we provide them information and expertise on branding and social media, and then they provide like mentorship to us, like just
because you're a bunch of kids.
Yeah,
you're a bunch of kids,
and they
who just get social media and get the digital landscape that a lot of old farts like me don't get.
Yeah, but then they like the energy and being around it. So then they provide like insight on other aspects of life, business, relationships, all these things. I think a hard thing about being business and young is, and really just being like a first time entrepreneur, is you just don't know what you don't know. And so every single area that you're going in, and as you expand and scale, you're having to face new challenges that you've never faced before. And it's one of the most difficult things ever, because you can't, even if you have mentors in business, you can't lean on anybody for exact advice in your specific situation.
No, because you're in your own, everyone's different.
It becomes such nuanced information that you need. Like I don't have any mentors that work in the PR space. And so how can I come with them with my exact problem that I'm facing in terms of where I should direct my attention?
It's more holistically, like, oh, this is what I would do if it was in this industry. Exactly. So what is the most important thing to carry with you all the time? Physical, non-physical, metaphysical goals, woo-woos you want to go?
To carry with me all the time, an optimistic attitude, looking at every single thing with optimism, and having people around me that have just the most optimistic outlook on life, because even if I see things one way, then I'm able to get checked by the people around me. I also carry around this blue journal everywhere, which is it's a journal that outlines my daily, weekly, and monthly goals, as well as 90-day goals, and then is an outline of like exactly my day. So I prioritize my every single day. Before.
You gotta, otherwise you go insane.
Exactly.
I have my remarkable, not plugged by my remarkable tablet. I don't leave home without it.
Yep.
I mean, I decided I have stacks of notebooks over there. But I decided I just need to save the environment and just put everything on remarkable instead. It is not a plug, FTC. I'm not getting compensated for that, so leave me alone. So, Luke, where can people find you online? The best place. Where do you
Yeah.
hang out the most?
Best,
Instagram?
yeah, best place would be Instagram, at Luke Lintz on Instagram.
Yeah, you look at that profile. He's a jet setter, but lots of good knowledge bombs on there. A lot of this kid's smart. I mean, clearly you've kind of found your niche and are having a blast doing it, which is what I love seeing. I love seeing young entrepreneurs just kind of living their best lives, doing it the best they can. Yeah, and being honest about it too. I mean, being honest, like, hey, look, we put all our ducks in one basket and it didn't work. I mean, a lot of young entrepreneurs don't have that experience. The grizzled kind of like, oh crap, we really effed up there. So you have that going for you, which I think is really good. That you did have a failure and you dusted it off and you kept on going. So
I appreciate that, Seth. Yeah, honestly, if we didn't have that major failure, I'd probably be looking back and be like, wow, when is that major failure coming? Because
it's not looming anymore because you've learned your lesson.
Yeah.
Hopefully, right? Well, Luke, thank you so much for being on the program. We'll have all your show in the show notes. We'll have all your, I can't speak today, like I said, all your links in the show notes below. And you'll see everyone next time. That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneurs Enigma, please review us in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps other podcast listeners find our show. If you're looking for other podcasts in the marketing space, look no further than the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcasts.net. Goldstein Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode.